Once you have created your shop, you now need to add in some basic information and adjust the settings to meet your specific needs before you begin adding jobs. So the first thing you need to do is click the Shop Management gear button at the top and then select Edit Shop. This page contains the information that you input when you first created your shop. And so the main setting you need to set here is your time zone. So select your appropriate time zone. Then you can add in your website, your Facebook, and your Twitter account if you like. And if you're going to be connecting My Shop Assist with the vendor portal, you need to put the name of the person that they're going to be contacting. Then click Save. Next is the shop setting up at the top. So here is where you put your typical hourly rate. Then input your normal tax rate. And then there's several settings here for the shop. So this Our Services Taxed button means that the services that you add are going to automatically be taxed when you create them in My Shop Assist. The same goes for parts. If they're all going to be taxed when you add them into MSA, you can simply just check the box. Now, any specific part, you can always go in and uncheck the tax box for that part. For the next option, My Shop Assist already tracks who created the job and when it was created, but if you check this box, it requires them to put in their name or their employee number, and so this is really great for chain stores where you have maybe a lot of people logging into the same account that are scheduling jobs, but for most performance shops, this one's not really needed. The next option is requiring a work order number. Again, My Shop Assist already has a field for the work order, but checking this box just makes it so it's a requirement that something must be input there. The next one is require authorization. So for every job, you can get an authorization, but this will add a notification on the home screen for any jobs that need to be authorized. Then it's vehicle requirements. So do you always work on cars? Do you sometimes work on cars? Or do you never work on cars? This changes the information that's required for the jobs. Moving down, for California users, we have boxes for your bar reg number and your EPA number. Then we have a place for your legal disclaimer. This will show up on both the work order and the customer authorization forms. Next is a checkbox for the default subservices and parts to be selected. And so we have another tutorial video that demonstrates the subservice and parts section. And so this one's automatically checked, but you can uncheck it if you like. And then we have a place to put your business hours. So this section only shows up in the day by user calendar, so feel free to input the information if you like. And then down at the very bottom is an option to add a tax flag for all your parts and tasks that are already in MSA. So if you've imported a lot of parts and tasks and then you just want to make all of them taxed, you can click one of these buttons here. So then save this information, and you'll also notice there's a QuickBooks tab at the top. So if you want to integrate it with QuickBooks Desktop, we have a tutorial video here that will show you how to do that. Or if you're a QuickBooks Online user, we also have a tutorial video for that. And then the last tab is your billing information. So now that we've got all that information, you need to add more technicians and managers. So to do that, click the Shop Management button and then scroll down to Users. So here is the first user that was created in My Shop Assist. You can go in and edit the information for that user and then select a color for them on the calendar. Then, to add another user, simply click the Add User button. Then select a color for them. Then add in their password. Lastly, you need to select the role that they are at your shop. So managers have full access to all the information in My Shop Assist. They have access to the Shop Management button dropdown. They can edit times for technicians, and they can edit pricing on the parts and the tasks within the job. Technicians can still create jobs and add tasks and add parts, but they can't delete anything and they can't adjust the times or the prices. Then the sales front office person is a very limited role, and it's really designed again for the chain stores that are going to be having people that do nothing but scheduling cars at the shop. So if you have somebody at the front of your shop who, schedules cars and bills customers and orders parts, they really should be a manager within My Shop Assist. Once you've got your shop all set up and your users added, you can begin by adding a job. If they're an existing customer, simply start typing in their name and select them from the dropdown. But if they're not in the system, you'll need to add a new customer. Here, you can do a company name and/or the first name and last name. And then you can input their email if you want to be able to send them email updates about their progress in My Shop Assist. Then the rest of the information is optional, and so you can add that in if you're going to be shipping parts to the customer or you just want more information about them to be in the system. Once they're saved, you'll be taken to the Add Vehicle screen. Now, if you didn't select the Always Use a Vehicle, you'll be taken back to the Add Job screen where you can add in a title for the job and not have to put the vehicle information in. And it's always good to put in a color to make it easier to differentiate the many vehicles that are at your shop. You can also add in the VIN and the license plate as optional details. Now you can put in the current vehicle mileage. Then select your default technician. So this is the person that's going to be doing most of the work on the vehicle, and it's also going to show up for them on the calendar. Here you have the option to add in the work order, and then you want to set the dates that you're going to be working on the vehicle. You can either select them from the drop-down menu here, or you can simply click on the calendar and it will schedule it for you. Then you can add any notes about the vehicle, and then you have the option to group multiple jobs together. So this is great for things like long-term storage or engine builds. But once all the information is filled out, click the Save button, and now you'll be taken into that job for the customer. So you'll see at the top all the vehicle information that you input. Then on the left-hand side is our list of tasks, and on the right-hand side is the list of parts. So as you see here, it starts out blank, and so the first thing we need to do is add our tasks. So click the Add Task button, and then begin typing in the task name. The default technician that was selected earlier will show up here, but you can always change it to a different technician. Then you can write in the description for this task. Next, you input how many estimated hours you think it will take. And then select if the job is fixed price or is an hourly charge. So currently it's set at hourly charge, and this rate is pulled from your general shop rate in the settings tab. But if it's a fixed price task, check this box and then input the price. Once you're done, click Save. If the task doesn't exist, you'll receive a pop-up that says the service was not found and will be added. This will pop up anytime a new task is created. Next, let's add a part. So on this page, you'll see there's a main search function that you can search by part name, part number, description, or vendor. Then, this is the actual part name field. You can change the quantity required. You can mark it as customer provided or need to order. Then you can add a description for the product. Then any not customer visible notes for the part. Then you can input the wholesale cost and the retail price. Then input the part number and the vendor. Then click Save. Again, you'll probably get this prompt as you're adding in more parts into MSA. So click OK. Now we have added our first job into My Shop Assist, including a task and a part that needs to be ordered for the system. When the technician begins working on the task, they simply click the Start button and the timer will begin running. Then, when they're all done, they click Finish, and it will gray out to show that that task has been completed. So, now you can add in all the jobs with the tasks and parts for all the vehicles that are at your shop and begin tracking the work.